All right. I hope you can hear me and see me well. So, hey everybody, this is Yevgen from OWAX. If you haven't heard about me or our company before, so we are a team of around 30 people who believe that data should be accessible to everyone, not gated by budgets on SaaS tools, approvals, permissions, or platforms, and that goes to data analysts and their access to data. But on the other hand, data should also be accessible to business users so they can make the right decisions and grow the business. And that is exactly what we stand for. I would like to just do a quick check and please type in the chat whether you can see me or hear me, if that works correctly, because I see the lag on my end, and I hope everything is correctly on yours. All right. Eula says all good. So that's fine. All right. So if you're a data analyst, you should access the data from whatever platform. Advertising platforms like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Reddit ads, Twitter, LinkedIn, CRM systems like HubSpot or Salesforce, other platforms. So you can actually build reports. But then on the other hand, business users should access not just the data, they don't need just the raw data from those platforms, but the actionable reports, the results of the data analysts' work. And more importantly, we believe that data analysts deserve tools they can actually run, not just request access to. Because, come on, we live in the age of AI, with an age of accessibility. And data pipelines are not the exclusion. They are not only for data engineers. And look, I am a marketer, and nothing and no one can stop me from accessing the data I need for my reporting. But I would prefer to have a layer between me and the raw data, the data analyst, which I don't have actually, and that is why I wear a lot of hats myself. And that is exactly why I'm very excited to be here with you today for this live session. All right? We're calling this session Own Your Data because that's the core idea behind everything I'm about to walk you through today. Here's exactly what we are going to cover in this training. I'll start by breaking down why it's so hard for data analysts to get access to the data they need. Number two, I will show you why most current solutions, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of most of them, why they don't really work for agency teams, solo analysts, analysts in the huge enterprises without deep engineering support. Basically, most of the data analysts out there on the market. And then we'll look at the alternative, the OWAX Data Marts Community App Scripts Edition, our forever free, like literally free, no trial, no credit cards, no expiration, it's fully yours, an open source set of data connectors built specifically for data analysts, just like most of you are here today. And then I will show you two live demos today, probably a few minutes each, one for connecting data to Google Sheets and another one for connecting data to Google BigQuery. So that's about how you can use it. And finally, I'll walk you through how you can customize the code to suit your needs, not just switch the fields you are collecting. We have taken care of this already, so you don't have to. And finally, how you can contribute to this growing library of AppScript connectors, empowering every data analyst out there if you want to join the community. Sounds good? All right, let's dive into the actual problem. The thing I assume every data analyst has felt, but doesn't always talk about. It's not that you don't know how to build reports. You do. Most likely, you are a SQL expert, way better than I am. You know data warehouses, Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, Looker Studio, Tableau, Power BI, at least some of those. Maybe you know some JavaScript. And I'm 100% sure that you know all that better than I do, even though I'm definitely more technical than 99.9% of marketers that exist in this world. You may even know some Python that I don't know. So, yes, you know how to build reports. You've already figured out all the logic, the schemas, the output that you would like to have. You've already built all the formulas, the SQL, maybe the visualization on top. But every time you need to build something new, you figure out that you just cannot get the data in the first place. Why? Because of the broken landscape. Because the tools out there are not built for you as the first place. Because the data is either locked behind a SaaS tool you need to pay for, but the process of getting the budget is painful, and that's simply not your responsibility. Maybe it's controlled by an engineering team that puts your request somewhere near the bottom of a queue. Or maybe it's a compliance thing and you just prohibited to share the access to the advertising platform, the credentials with a third-party SaaS tool without SOC 2 or other privacy things. So you end up doing what we all do. You download a CSV manually, clean it up, copy it, paste it, merge it, use VLOOKUP and query functions, and you repeat this every week for every stakeholder or every client, every campaign, every report. But you weren't hired to do that. You were hired to bring insights, to move fast, to help your team make smarter decisions. But the real blocker isn't you. It's the broken system around you, one that assumes you either have money for tools, access to APIs, or help from data engineers, or you need to compromise the corporate access policy. That's what we're here to fix today. So let's talk about what that system looks like and why it's not working. So let's zoom out for a second. There are a ton of tools out there that promise to solve exactly this problem, data connectivity. And most of you probably tried or at least heard of a few of them, if not all of them. So let's start with the most obvious ones. Supermetrics. It's extremely easy to use. It connects a bunch of platforms, hundreds of them. But here's the problem. You need a license, a paid license. And if you are working for an enterprise, chances are it's hard to get that budget approval. You may need to have a very awkward approval conversation with someone on the procurement team or your boss. But the real problem is if you are working across multiple clients or projects, you either a solo analyst or work at the agency, and reporting is your problem, not the client's problem, your problem. You either need to have separate licenses for every client or just pay a lot of money. And we just recently got a request from a very huge marketing agency spending tens of millions of dollars on ads for their clients who just cannot afford to pay more and more for every single connector at Supermetrics. Then there are two other tools, Airbyte Cloud and Fivetran. Fantastic tools. Absolutely fantastic tools if you're a data engineer. You need to know Python. You need to know those APIs a lot. You need to host things on your end or pay extra for managed hosting. That's fine for large data teams, but not for data analysts who just want to automate what's already working and might not know Python. Then we have internal data engineering teams. Some of you have them, some of you don't, but let's be honest. Even when you do, your request for a connector to Facebook ads usually goes to the bottom of the Jira backlog because the engineers are working on product features, not marketing or business reports. And you might be stuck again doing manual exports for the 15th time this quarter. And finally, if you find a tool that's technically free or easy to use for you, there is this one last roadblock: access permissions. You might be allowed to build a report, but you are not allowed to share credentials to the tool with a third-party SaaS tool. You are not allowed to plug your ad account into some vendor's backend, even if that vendor says they are secure. you might need to go through a compliance process within your team, within your organization, with the lawyers, with the legal department, which is, let's be honest, not your job. So that's where most data analysts are today. And that's what we wanted to change at AWX. And we did. So let me now show you how AWX Data Mart actually solves exactly this with a 100% free tool that works the way data analysts work. Are you ready? So that's where most data analysts are today, and that's what we wanted to change. All right. If you are like most analysts we talk to, you are not waiting for someone else to solve it. You are trying to fix it yourself with workaround templates and some custom JavaScripts. So we decided to make it faster and easier for you. So here's what we built. AWX Data Mart's Community App Scripts Edition, 100% free open source library of data connectors, made specifically for data analysts by data analysts, not for engineers, not for platforms, not for procurement managers, for you. So let me walk you through how it actually works. First, it's all built in JavaScript and Google Apps Script, no Python. As of today, no Docker is needed either, but we are considering adding a self-hosted Node.js version as well, but that's going to happen next month. You can open up one of our Google Sheet templates we've prepared, and I'll leave a link in the comments right now. All right. And you can actually run your data pools from Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, as you can see on the screen, Bank of Canada, TikTok ads, X, Criteo, Bing, Reddit is being actually developed today instantly. And all you have to do is just add a few setting details, select the fields that you would like to import out of all the fields from the platform API. Like for Facebook, it's 734 fields as of yesterday. And your access credentials right to your document, not to our platform. And that's very important. You're good to go and run the data import at that moment. And I'll share that in about a second. So it works for both Google Sheets and Google BigQuery. But basically, all is happening from your Google Sheets template anyway. Let me show you how it works in almost real time. I've recorded that a couple hours ago, so you can see it. We are going to be collecting data from Facebook ads into Google Sheets first, and then I will do the same demo from Facebook ads into Google BigQuery. So here we go. You go to our GitHub, you find the connector you need, for example, Facebook ads, and you go and grab the Google Sheets template. You can copy it, and that will be copied to your drive for sure. Then you go to the config sheet and do the necessary setup things. So you fill in the start date and the end date. That's what we start from. Then we need the add account ID. You can find it in your Facebook ads manager. Then we work with the fields and some other minor things like max fetching dates, reimport lookup back window, clean up to keep the window. Basically, I explain all that in separate video. I don't want to stop on this now, but here we just add the fields that we would like to collect. As I mentioned, 734 fields for Facebook as of yesterday, and it's growing. Like we are updating all of those templates. And all of that will be collected into your Google Sheets, this one. So the next step is to add the token. It's super easy to get it for Facebook. It's less easy to get for another platforms. But again, we have all of the instructions available on the website and in our GitHub, both. So basically, you just go and add the Facebook ads token here, marketing API. Again, the instruction is on GitHub. So as you can see, I'm adding it right into the into the Google Sheets. And then I'll just go and press import new data. And you can see how the script is running. The log at the bottom of the document is running. And then the tabs inside the Google Sheet file are getting filled with the new values. Exactly like that. So for me, that took about a minute. So I just fastened that video a bit to show you easier. Yeah, now you can go back to the config sheet and see that the progress is done. Everything happened, everything is logged here. So in the next step, we can now go and schedule it. So just go to app script, just go to triggers, just add a new trigger at the bottom, select the function import new data, select the time-driven trigger, or another one. I put it daily, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and just click save. That's going to be deployed, and that's going to work. So now your data from Facebook ads account will be flowing into your Google Sheets every single day from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And that's it. That is what we mean by analyst first experience. No APIs to learn, no credentials to send to a third party. As you've seen, that was the Google Sheet template that I've copied from the public available template and stored on my own drive. So it's not on AWOC's side, it's not anywhere else, it's on your Google Drive. There is no monthly invoice, there is no trial expired message. You just run the connector and the data shows up where you need it. And once again, this is what we meant by data analyst first experience. Now, let's say you are ahead of spreadsheets and you work inside Google BigQuery. You just like it. Maybe you're blending all of the ads data together, attributing those spends to conversions from G4 BigQuery expert data, building attribution models, just prefer using SQL versus VLOOKUP. Just like I do, I push all of the data into BigQuery and then do some manipulations over there. So if you are in BigQuery, we've got you covered here too. If you're using another data warehouse like Snowflake, Databricks, Athena, Redshift, we are going to add that support a little bit later. Or you can help us do it faster, but that's something I will talk about in about 10 minutes or so. So I've promised you to show the demo for collecting Facebook ads data into BigQuery. Basically, here we go. We just go to the same GitHub, the same Google Drive folder, just copy another template. Facebook marketing to Google BigQuery. We just go to the config sheet, and we just fill in the start date, the end date, exactly the same. We add the account ID, but then we add the destination data set in the form of project ID dot dataset ID. And we just need to specify the desired location. For example, US, as it's on my side. Then we just add the credentials the same way as we did for Facebook ads to Google Sheets. You can use the same token, exactly the same one. It's going to work for at least a couple months. And then you just go and press AWOC's import new data. That's it. This one for BigQuery will work a little bit longer. Probably it might take like 3 to 7 minutes to load the data for the desired period of time. It might take even longer if you have a lot of creatives available, because that's what takes a lot of time. And you can see the log on the screen, how everything is going. It took probably like 4 minutes to finish import, and it's done. And I will show you in a second how it looks in BigQuery. Data set, new tables with some data inside, exactly the ones that specified on the fields sheet inside the template. Like everything is already available for you to work on. So same idea, but this time it's pushed straight into your warehouse. But you can update it the same way as for Google Sheets. You can do it right inside the Google Sheets template. Just go to Extensions, App Script, and set a trigger. So you've skipped the procurement process. the DevOps waitlist, the manual experts of data from the advertising platforms, the security audits from your legal team, and you are back in control. And here is why it matters to you. It's free forever. There are no hidden limits. Like, there are literally no limits at all. No credit expiration, no pro plan upsell, and I'm not going to be doing any kind of sales pitches today, exactly as I promised in my email. And it's open source. You can read it, fork it, improve it, add more connectors if you're missing so, and that's the way that you can get the recognition, because I will also feature you, promote you, and we may want to create some content together, videos, webinars. I may invite you to our Data Crunch podcast. You'll get a backlink, you'll get a credibility. Basically, you will get all of the potential benefits that you might imagine right now of contributing into an open source analytics tool. So, plus, it's secure because you run it inside your infrastructure, not ours. It's customizable. You want to rename the fields, pull more data, join with something else, go for it. And it's built to work the way data analysts already work. Google Sheets, SQL, GitHub, and the data warehouse. And probably JavaScript as well if you want to tweak anything. You don't need to ask permissions to automate your job and to use this tool. You can just go and do it yourself without asking anyone for it, without going for a budget. So now that you've seen it in action, let's take a look at the real use case analysts are already solving with this. From multi-platform ad reporting to exchange rate conversions to full attribution pipelines. Sounds good? Let's look at what you can actually do with it, because it's not just about pulling some raw data and throwing it into a spreadsheet. The real magic happens when you start connecting the dots and automating the workflow that used to take you hours every week for the last couple of years. So let's start simple. You are running campaigns on, or your business is running campaigns on Facebook ads, TikTok, LinkedIn. The marketing team wants the weekly performance reports or daily performance reports. So you use to exporting CSVs from the platforms and connecting the dots. Now you schedule those connectors in Sheets. Data lands right inside the template, ready to slice, dice, and visualize. You're no longer waiting on data engineering or fiddling with experts. You've got a real reporting layer that already works. And let's take it up a notch. You've got ad spend data from 5 different advertising platforms. Each one is its own format. That happens. Its own naming conventions, its own headache, because the APIs are different. With AWACS connectors, you can automate the pull from each platform into Google BigQuery, then blend and normalize that using SQL. Want to just spend to a single currency? You can go for it because we've got an open exchange rates connector built in too. And suddenly you've got the blended ROAS, cost per lead across platforms, performance per campaign across channels, and it all refreshes automatically. This one is huge. You are already collecting conversions events from GA4 into BigQuery. Well, if you're listening to this, probably you do this. Now you can add a layer of campaign cost data from Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever platform your company runs. And you can attribute the spend to conversions. First touch, last touch, custom attribution logic, funnel-based attribution, and model the actual ROI, not just the fluff metrics. No need for a third-party attribution SaaS. You've got the warehouse, you know the SQL. If you need help, you can go sign up for AWACS and get all of the templates you need for an attribution model. Now you've got the connectors to finally connect all of the dots between the spend and conversions and map a clear picture. And let's be honest, sometimes you don't want to build a dashboard in Fancy Looker Studio. You just don't want to spend extra time. You just want a spreadsheet, a single, easy spreadsheet. So here's the flow a lot of folks are using. Pull data from Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, etc. into BigQuery. Transform it with SQL, blend it together, and then push it back using SQL into Google Sheets with AWACS reports or connected sheets. That all works for you. And now your spreadsheet is up to date. You can add charts, filters, and share it with the team because it refreshes daily and or hourly as you wish. And anyone on your team can then go and build a pivot table, even your CEO. And let's talk about agencies for a second. Because if you work at one or run one, you are maybe an agency owner, you already know the drill. You don't get paid for building dashboards. You get paid for outcomes, for the strategy, for performance for your clients. But still, every client wants a weekly report, a monthly update, a breakdown by campaign, country, funnel stage, you name it. And the more clients you sign up for the agency, the more reports you are stuck maintaining. And at some point, tools like Supermetrics or Funnel just don't scale. Or they do scale, but with a lot of extra cost. Not because they are bad tools, but because they charge per connector, per account, per client. And you are stuck with this horrible trade-off. Either pass the cost to the client and look like you're nickel and diming them, or absorb it and eat your margins. With AWACS Data Mart's Community Edition, you don't have to choose. Here's what agencies are already doing. They use the free connectors to pull ad spend and performance from Meta, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. All of those platforms. They store the raw data certainly in BigQuery and then prep it and visualize in Google Sheets. So they feed those data from the warehouse into the client-facing dashboards. Google Sheets, Looker Studio, maybe some other BI tools. Once you've built one report template, you just swap in the client's credentials, schedule the connector, and reuse it across accounts. No licensing limits, no per client pricing. You can serve 5 clients or 50, same setup, same cost, $0. And because it's open source, if a client asks for something new, a new field, a new platform, a new connector, a weird data structure, you don't have to wait for a vendor. You just work with it. You adjust the connector, just slightly change the code in JavaScript, and ChatGPT can help you with that. And you just move on. And it's the reporting infrastructure that actually respects the business model of the agencies. You move fast, you serve a lot of clients, you copy paste what you've already done, and you finally stop paying for API call. So this was just a few of the use cases we've seen people build already, and we've only scattered the surface here. So you can plug this into your agency client reporting stack, your internal reporting pipeline, your product analytics layer, or literally just use it a way to stop re-downloading data from different platforms every Monday. The flexibility is the whole point. You can scale this up or keep it simple. Use it in production or in your personal spreadsheet. It works however you work. So now that you've seen the use cases, let's talk about how you can actually get involved and help us move this further. We didn't build this to be just another tool. We built it to be a movement, something that lives, grows, and gets better with every data analyst that uses it. Because look, we don't know every tool you use. We don't run every ad platform or CRM or product stack, but you guys do. And that's where the next level comes in, contribution. There are a few ways on how you can contribute, and no, you don't need to be a tech ninja or a developer or a full stack engineer to help us. Now, if you want to pull data from a platform we don't yet support, let's start small. Just open an issue or a discussion, and that's literally it. Just describe the use case, just the business use case. Drop the doc link if you have it, and we'll take it from here. Or maybe another contributor jumps it and builds it first. That's the magic. Or maybe you want to tweak a connector's behavior, add more fields, change the schema, clean up the naming, add error handling. It's great. You are free to fork it, edit it, and then submit a pull request to bring your changes into the main repo. And we will help you through it every step of the way. If it's useful to the community, we'll promote it, shout out on LinkedIn about you, give you a backlink, create some content together, add you as a contributor on the homepage. This is this is it. Like, this is open source. Yes, but this also gives you a lot of recognition, collaboration, and visibility. And as I said earlier, you don't have to be a developer. You don't need to write code to be valuable to this community. Maybe you just need, maybe you just tested a connector with a new platform version or helped someone troubleshoot their config. Let's go and help us do it. Join our community. We'll be opening a Slack community soon where data analysts can share templates, give feedback, and collaborate on making this the best analytics first data library on the internet. But for now, let's just use the discussion section or issues section inside our GitHub repo. Now look, when you hit that GitHub page, I want you to feel something. So you should land there and think, wow, that's a lot. That's serious. That's alive. And honestly, that's the point. We want it to feel alive. We want it to feel like a community. All right. I know that was a lot. I hope you've already thinking about, where does this fit into my workflow? What connectors do I want to try first? Which pain do you want to automate immediately? But before we wrap up, I want to open the floor for any questions here. If something is unclear, if you are wondering how to integrate this or that with your current stack, if you want to ask, can this work with, insert the tool name, now is the right time. Drop it in the chat, and I'm here for it to answer any of your questions. Just remember, I probably have something like 15 seconds delay, so I may read it a bit later. All right. So do we have any questions? I'm going to be waiting for the next 15 seconds or so to be able to answer them. If no, let me just recap what we had today. So what you saw today, the real blockers analysts face aren't technical. They are structural: budget, access permissions, approvals, and the vendor lock-in. Most solutions out there on the market weren't built for data analysts. They were built for data engineers or the sales team selling them. And AWS Data Marts is the first open source forever free alternative built specifically for you. We showed how to pull Facebook ads to Sheets, Facebook ads to BigQuery in literally minutes. And we looked at the real use cases, from client reporting to attribution modeling. So next steps for you: visit our GitHub repository. Even if it's just to look around, you'll find everything there. Pick a connector to try: Facebook ads, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, other advertising platforms. Then select a destination, Google Sheets or BigQuery, so select the right template. Just make a copy of it to skip the setup guesswork and share it with a friend or teammate who is tired of doing the same report 5 times a month. And if you are feeling brave, open an issue, suggest a connector, or make a pull request. You don't need extra permissions to run it, and it doesn't matter where you work. You don't need a budget. You just need the desire to stop doing manual work and start owning your data. Thanks so much for joining me live today. My name is Yevgen. I'm from AWS. Whether you contribute, explore, or just use what we have already built, I'm truly excited to see what you do next with AWS Data Marts. And I'll see you next time on the next webinar. Bye.